On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
The way it plays out in jail, the way it plays out in E-Black's marriage, the way it plays out in the corporate world, the way it plays out on the golf courses and the cigar rooms. I mean, you could write a series of books on it, but it really comes from the older men talking to the younger men, and the younger, hopefully getting these men young enough to where they listen. Because a young man who's 23 and has got his nose open, like, oh, you're old, you're just bitter, right? You've been divorced 7 times and you just bitter, you just hate women. My girl loves me, right? And then 10 years later, they're talking some ish like E-Black, talking about giving her everything. And she's like, thank you. She's like, thank you very much. And now she's with her new man with all of your shit. And you're starting
not the
over.
new man.
Listen, shout out to E-Black, but I mean, I don't even, man.
No.
It's so deep. It's so
Lead,
deep.
you too generous. We not gonna shout out E-Black on that specific note.
Oh, one more thing. Another thing that I've seen recently on YouTube is men teaching other men how to protect themselves. There's these red pill movements and these red pill channels that are helping and aiding men on what to do in certain situations and certain resources that they can use in order to protect their wallet and protect their physical being.
Yeah. Oh my God, Anton, we agree. Men of mirror. Oh my God. Look at me trying to get a fire.
It's only because I called it out early.
No, it's not. We've agreed a couple times.
Only because I called it out early.
But like I said, even with lead attorney, you know, his essence, his platform is to help men and protect them. So we have someone on our show that's protecting men.
All right, really?
Yeah, and I do agree with Amira that the red pill community probably is like the only thing. The manosphere in general, and then maybe the red pill community in particular. Now, the red pill community, you know, no community is perfect, right? But they're kind of all we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question I was going to ask lead attorney was going to be, what does that look? I mean, I know you're speaking strictly from, well, not strictly, but speaking primarily from a legal standpoint. And again, in society, I mean, men aren't taught, like, we understand that. So what does that look like for men to be taught how to protect themselves from women?
What do you mean? What does it look like?
So you were expounding, and you were giving some examples about like how men get raked over the calls, like even using E-Black as an example, right? And I think there are a lot of men that you know, that type of statement will resonate with, right? Like, so if my wife left or whatever, she gets everything, and I think it's an expectation in our society for us to start over. So I see you shaking your head. So that's what I'm saying. What does it look like to teach men, like, how to protect themselves? Like, should men, I know you're an advocate for prenup, so I'm just asking you to lay it out for like the cats that are watching on the program who may not be familiar or may not have heard you break it down before.
Yeah, I mean, it's so deep, and it really needs to come from a man. You know, I'm not one of these people who say, oh, you know, only men. I don't want to say that, but I think specifically a woman is incapable of teaching a man some of the things, especially a young man, the things that he needs to know. Just because not because the women aren't smart enough, but their experiences are so much different as being raised in a protected class. They don't know what it means to be raised in an unprotected class. A woman would not fathom saying the bullshit that E-Black was saying about just giving some person every single cent that they've worked 15 years for. What intelligent person is going to say that? Well, a man who has got this martyrdom mentality, right? So it goes so deep, and everybody knows E-Black is a solid dude, which shows you how invasive how pernicious these thoughts are. So I definitely think older men need to teach younger men this, but you have to be careful, because even the truth can get you canceled. I don't know if you guys really remember this. This happened a few years ago. Stephen A. Smith is a news. He's over there at ESPN, right? And he said something which was 100% true and they suspended him, and he had to come with this watery-eyed apology. What did he say? He said that, you know, something along, it's been a few years, so, you know, I might have the details wrong, but he was telling, I think, one of his younger family members who was a woman, maybe his niece or somebody, that she should not provoke men because, you know, a man is stronger than you, and you can't count on a man not responding in a manly way. And, you know, he was telling a woman this, and he got in so much hot water, and again, they suspended him, and he had to apologize. So if you can't tell women this stuff, imagine trying to tell men, right? So I think a man, you know, number one, he should be given the reality of the situation and how the ideologies, how the narratives that have been fed to him are erroneous, and they are victimizing him on a daily basis. But he also needs to understand the reality of the situation. What is the reality of the situation? Marshawn Lynch. I don't know if y'all know Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is a person that stays on code. He is going to say the N-word to you. He's going to say it to Obama. He's going to say it to white. Like, he doesn't care. He is who he is. And he had a training camp. It's a video that went viral. And he had a training camp, and this white woman got mad at the way that he was talking and then wanted his money back. And she tried to get it in his face. And he was like, listen, do you have a husband? Do you have a boyfriend? I am not talking to you. I need a man. And she felt offended. She was like, no, I'm the parent. You can talk to me. I'm the mom. He was like, nope, not to you. I am not talking to you. So, you know, those are the types of things that you do to kind of protect yourself. It's almost like you have to kind of stay away from women in a sense. And this is kind of what Anton was saying too. You know, and a lot of women push back on this because they say it's not fair. They say, listen, you guys can go off on the golf course and you guys can tell your dirty jokes, and that's fine. But you guys are making deals on the golf course. And if I don't have access to the golf course, if I don't have access to you in those private settings, if I don't have access to you in those cigar rooms, then how am I going to be part of the deal? Right? You guys are leaving me out. I want in. But the second you say, fine, come in, then you are introducing chaos, potential chaos into the cigar room.
Shout out to Chaotic K. Oh, down there.
Right? You are introducing chaos into the golf course because you can make one wrong comment and now you're Me Too'd on the golf course. You can make one wrong comment in the cigar room and now you're Me Too'd. And so women are actually hurting themselves in a sense, because women are going to be left out of these important meetings, these all men meetings, and they're going to say, why am I not a part? Well, you're not a part because it's not safe for men to be around you. And so, I mean, there's so many facets of this. You know, the way it plays out in court, the way it plays out in jail, the way it plays out in E Black's marriage, the way it plays out in the corporate world, the way it plays out on the golf courses and the cigar rooms. I mean, you could write a series of books on it, but it really comes from the older men talking to the younger men, and the younger, hopefully getting these men young enough to where they listen. Because a young man who's 23 and has got his nose open, like, oh, you're old, you just bitter, right? You've been divorced 7 times and you just bitter, you just hate women. My girl loves me, right? And then 10 years later, they're talking some ish like E Black, talking about giving her everything. And she's like, thank you. She's like, thank you very much. And now she's with her new man with all of your shit. And you're starting
not the new man.
Listen, shout out to E Black, but I mean, I don't even, man.
No.
It's so deep. It's so
Leeds,
deep.
you too generous. We not gonna shout out E Black on that specific note.